Let's take a look at 5 variants of Icejades. The first one is Icejade Yugi. This deck trades away its floodgates for more bodies on the board. Because Icejade Ran requires you to have a water monster to discard, you're going to need at least 20 water monsters in your main deck so you don't brick. We'll be using a Kashtira Fenrir engine. Fenrir can search for a water Kashtira, giving you a water monster to discard with Icejade Ran. There are 2 Kashtira water monsters, and Yugi you'll prefer the Kashtira Ogre, because it can be used as tribute fodder for normal summoning Kairishin. And you might be thinking you can just discard Tearjades with Icejade Ran and it will mill the deck. It won't. Icejade Ran discards as a cost. Tearjades needs to be sent to the graveyard by a card effect. Icejade Ran special summons a level 3 token. While that token is on the field, you won't be able to access any extra deck monsters except water monsters. So here we'll synchro into Icejade Jameer. That's 2 cards for 2 disruptions. Enter Marincess. So in this variant, we're only running 3 Icejade Rans. We only have space for 1 synchro in the extra deck, and we don't need any of the other Icejades. Marincess will have to increase the number of water monsters they usually have in their deck. So we're running Gameciels as our board breaker, and we have more Mandarin and Pascalis. Icejade Ran has 2 purposes in a Marincess deck. The first is to link climb into a link 2 without using up your normal summon. And the second is an extra body on board, providing your link 4 tower with even more protection. Enter Tearjades, mill a lot, and then win. Using this combo as an example, here we're going to activate Scream first, then normal summon Tear Element Rhinoheart on Chainlink 1, Scream on Chainlink 2. Scream then mills 3 cards, Rhinoheart sends Havness to the graveyard. Havness and an Aqua will fusion summon into Kit Kalos. Kit Kalos will activate on special summon, and we're going to send Tearjades to the graveyard. Sending Tearjades to the graveyard will mill 2 cards. Now Kit Kalos will target itself, send itself to the graveyard, and special summon Tearjades from the graveyard. On Chainlink 1, Kit Kalos will activate, and Tearjades on Chainlink 2. Tearjades lets you mill from your opponent's deck if you want to activate Manifestation. Or you can mill from your own deck, which we want to do because we want to increase the probability of sending Tear Element Sheeran to the graveyard. So Tearjades mills 3, Kit Kalos mills 5. And if you've been keeping count, that's 13 cards, plus Havness is 14 cards sent to the graveyard. So we'll activate Sheeran before the last chain. On Chainlink 3, Scream will add a Tear Element Trap card to our hand. We'll add Tear Element Crime to our hand. On Chainlink 2, Tear Element Sheeran will fusion summon into Tear Element Rakalos, and then shuffle those tier cards back into the deck. Tear Element Select Trap card will let us add a tier monster to the hand. We'll add a copy of Sheeran. From here is really dependent on what we milled to the graveyard and what we have in our hand. In the graveyard we have Crystal Girl and we have a Tidal Dragon. We'll special summon the Crystal Girl. On summon, Crystal Girl will activate an effect, which lets us add a level 5 or higher water monster from our deck to our hand at the end of the turn. We can special summon the Sheeran from our hand and discard a monster. Before we waterlock ourselves, we'll exi summon into Time Thief with Rhinoheart and Sheeran. We can link into a Marincess Coral Anemone using the Crystal Girl and Tearjades. Coral Anemone can special summon our Icejade Ran. On special summon, Icejade Ran activates an effect, letting us add an Icejade spell from our deck to our hand, and we can use it to add the Icejade Field spell. We'll activate the Icejade Field spell and grab one of our Icejades from the graveyard. Icejade Ran can also discard an Icejade spell and special summon itself. So we'll send the Manifestation to the graveyard, special summon Ran, and then special summon a level 3 token. Now we can Synchro summon into our Icejade Jameer. Not every Tearjade will run Cosmic Core. I like this monster, so I'm going to special summon it, activate the field spell, lower its attack to 0, and then tribute it to special summon Guardian Slime. At the end of the turn, we can use Crystal Girl to add Icejade Ran to the hand. Crystal Girl also has another use case with Icejade Ran. You can discard it with Icejade Ran, special summon the token, and if you have a level 5 or higher water monster on the field, you can special summon Crystal Girl from the graveyard, and then activate Crystal Girl's effect. Then using Crystal Girl to Ran in the token, you can Synchro summon into a Trishula 0, banishing 3 cards from the field. You'll want the other Trishula Synchro monster in your extra deck because Tier 0 can float into that other Trish monster if it's destroyed by card effect. At the end of the turn, one of the best cards to add to your hand with Crystal Girl is Tearjades Kashtira. During your opponent's main phase, if you are a Tearjades or Kashtira card in your graveyard, you can banish it and special summon Tearcash. Tearcash with Tearjades Scream will let you mill 6 cards from your deck, and then you can combo on our turn. Enter Icejade Sharks. This is running both a Diva and a Bishark engine, with Synchros and Xyzs. This variant of Icejade takes advantage of the interaction between Abyss Shark and Crystal Shark in Icejade Ran. With Diva and Abyss Shark, we can normal summon Diva, special summon Guitar from the deck. Guitar will banish the top cards of your opponent's deck equal to the number of water monsters you control. In this case, we will banish 2 cards. Then Guitar will target the Diva and double its level. We'll Synchro summon into Prima Donna. Prima Donna will target one of those banished cards and add it to the opponent's hand. And then special summon Adrian from the deck. On special summon, Adrian will activate its effect. We'll use it to add Icejade Cradle to the hand. Then we can Synchro summon with Prima Donna and Baby Adrian into Icejade Jameer. We'll activate the Abyss Shark in the hand, special summon the Abyss Shark, add a Crystal Shark to the hand. We'll then activate the Icejade Cradle, add Icejade Ran Adrian. Icejade Ran will activate, we'll discard the Crystal Shark, special summon Icejade Ran. Ran will special summon the Icejade token, and then with the token in Icejade Ran, we'll Synchro summon into Cengiz. With the Crystal Shark in the graveyard, we'll target the Abyss Shark and special summon Crystal Shark. Crystal Shark and Abyss Shark can Xyz summon into a Stealth Kragan or a Nash Knight. That's 2 cards for 3 disruptions. Enter Atlantean Icejades. There's a lot of synergy between the Atlanteans and Icejades. Icejade Ran can trigger the Atlantean Dragoons to search for a Sea Serpent, and Mulling Glacia can rip a monster from your opponent's hand, so then you can meet the condition to activate Icejade Manifestation. With Diva and Icejade Ran, we'll normal summon the Diva, special summon Atlantean Prince. Atlantean Prince will send an Atlantean Dragoons to the graveyard as a cost, and because Atlantean Dragoons was sent as a cost, we can activate its effect. Atlantean Prince adds an Atlantean Dragoons to the hand, and the Atlantean Dragoons in the graveyard lets us add a Mermail Abyss Megalo to the hand. With the Diva and the Prince, we can Synchro into Tatsunoko. Icejade Ran can discard the Atlantean Dragoons, special summon a token, and the Atlantean Dragoons will trigger in the graveyard, and we'll add a Mulling Glacia to the hand. We'll need 5 water monsters in the graveyard, so Icejade Ran and the token, we'll have to Synchro summon into Icejade Jameer. Now that we have 5 water monsters in the graveyard, we'll special summon Mulling Glacia and rip 2 cards from our opponent's hand. Using Tatsunoko and the level 7 Mermail in our hand, we'll Synchro summon into a Baron de Flor. There's a lot more water decks you can mix Icejades with. Which one are you playing? I'll be back with an updated deck list. Until then, ciao!